What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Um, this is gonna be a quick deck profile in order to showcase the two main combos I was talking about in that deck profile. The going second combo that uses the where's he at? Uses the air raid in order to get an additional pop, as well as the combo that I was talking about that makes you niberu proof. For that, you really just need to open a bunch of names with a level 2. You can open Simoon and these two cards, or you can open uh, Blizzard, this, and a Bora. There's a bunch of different combinations depending on what you open. You can open these two and instead of the Simoon have a Whirlwind or two other Blackwing monsters. There's so many combinations, but when you have the combo, you know you have the combo. 3 names gets you combo. 3 specific, or when you get more specific with it, then you get into a point where you can make it niberu proof. So for that, we'll just use Simoon to activate him in order to banish the Gust, which gets you the Black Whirlwind or the Remolino Oscuro if you have the Spanish Ultras. That summons the Simoon. The Simoon is going to trigger the Whirlwind to search you the Oster. We'll normal summon the Oster. We'll put it over here. Normal summoning the Oster is going to trigger Chain Link 1 and Chain Link 2. You're going to search out the Harmattan. You still have the Bora in hand. And then the Oster is going to bring back your Gust. We put the Gust on the far left side because we want to keep this area open to make the combo simpler. We're going to summon Harmattan, and then we're going to use our 5th summon in order to make the Gen Buster. The number 65 Gen Buster. Level 2 Dark Fiend, but basically he can detach both of his materials to stop any monster effect. So that makes you niberu proof on your 5th summon. Moving on from there, we'll just go ahead and summon the Bora. We'll use either these two or these two, but never these two, because you want to leave a level 4 on your field in order to continue the combo. So we'll use these 2 cards, slide that up there, have a graveyard here. We'll use those 2 cards in order to make the 4 Strix. So we'll just say this is the center column. Using those 2 to make the 4 Strix. There, field center. Now don't get confused. Having the 4 Strix, we'll use the 4 Strix to get the Raider's Knight. Using the Raider's Knight and the Oster, we'll overlay into the 4 Strix. And we'll use the 4 Strix effect to detach the Raider's Wing specifically. Detaching that, activating that effect will trigger the Y Strix effect. So the 4 Strix will get us a Strangulanius, and the Y Strix will get us the rank up magic force. It's important to remember here that your opponent may try to tell you that this card can't be activated the turn it was set, but it can because Y Strix says it can. Rusty does not say that you can activate that card, so you get this one that you want to activate on your turn off the Y Strix, and you get the other rank up spell off the Rusty to use on your opponent's turn. Just remember that it can completely ruin your combo if you do not. After that, we're going to summon the Strangulanius. Now we're locked into darks for the turn, which doesn't matter. We're going to use these 2 in order to make Rusty, and we're going to use Rusty's effect in order to send the boots, which is going to set that rank up spell. We'll banish the boots in order to get our Shade Brigandine and set that. After that, we're going to detach off of these 4 Strix by using the Raider's Wing effect in graveyard to summon itself. And then we're also going to activate our rank up magic force. Now we're going to banish the Simoon, the Y Strix, and we can banish the Strangulanius. Doesn't really matter too much on which 3 you banish, but by banishing 3 from the grave, we're going to rank up the 4 Strix into an Arsenal Falcon. After we've done that, you're actually locked into Exceeds monsters for the turn, but that also doesn't matter because we're going to activate the Shade Brigadine, summon it, use these two in order to overlay and make the Time Thief Redoer. Now you have a walking compulsory evacuation device because he has a trap up under him. And then last but not least, we're going to use Arsenal Falcon's effect to special summon any level 4 winged beast from our deck. See, now you make a decision on what am I playing against. If you know what you're playing against, then you can bring out something specific. If not, then you just grab a generic level 4 Blackwing like a Chris or something. If you know that it won't bite you in the butt by doing so, you can summon a barrier statue off of the Arsenal Falcon, because most Raid Raptors say Dark Winged Beast. Arsenal Falcon just says level 4 Winged Beast, which you can summon this. The problem with summoning this is you can't activate your rank up magic to get the Kali Yuga yet. So certain ways to outboards could kill you here, but you have the barrier statue. So to beat this, they'd have to have something like Dark Hole that nobody's playing, or Interrupted Kaiju. Oh wait, they can't because that involves summoning, so they can't use that either. So right now you're sitting on a Gen Buster that's a monster negate, Redoer that's a compulsory evacuation device, and a barrier statue that won't let them special summon except wind monsters. I only included this because I got beat by Shaddolls by having this board and getting super polyed. That sucked. You have this on the field, they can't super poly because they can't go into the anything other. They can't go into any of their dark stuff by using your dark stuff. With this in mind, if they do try to out this board, they'd have to normal summon, which your redoer can compulse back to their hand. If they're still able to get over it, they'd have to use their battle phase in order to get over the barrier statue, sending that to grave. Then they go into their main phase 2 trying to combo, and then you drop the Kali Yuga on them. Doing it that way really just messes up their entire attempts to out your board, because they wasted their normal summon, which got dealt with the redoer if you even needed to, or they tried to attack over your barrier statue, which you could just let happen, bounce their normal summon afterwards, and drop a Kali Yuga. Redoer was actually funny against the Salamangrate deck because two different games, he summoned the Flame Buffalo and I bounced it back to the top of his deck with Redoer. When you do that, Buffalo's effect still activates because it left field. So now they're forced, instead of drawing 2 cards, they draw their own Buffalo and 1 card, which really set him back because it didn't give him as much advantage as he wanted. So there was a lot of interesting interactions when you have these combos out. Also, because the Redoer steals their top deck, you might get a spell card so that you can get an extra draw. It was very useful against Salad by taking the Cynet Mining off the top. I have taken Forbidden Droplets and Triple Tactical Talents off the top deck so many times. Really useful things. But that's the main way of going into the Nibiru proof combo. The Gen Buster just gives you a lot of extra security to go off with the rest of the combo, and the Storm Winds as an additional thing for them to have to deal with is also helpful. You just gotta preface what you're going against if you're gonna use this or not. Alright guys, I've reset and I'm ready to show you the combo where show you the reason I added the Decay the Ill Wind. It's almost the same combo. Instead of, you just change directions. Like I said, the deck's so versatile, you can just change directions, and it really just depends on what's in your hand on which route you want to go with. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to again activate the Simoon, but instead of having the level 2s to make the Gen Buster, this is going to be the going second, blow your opponent's stuff up. A lot of people aren't making those giant break my board 6 negates right now, so really you only have to add a couple of cards, which is very possible with this. It really entirely just depends on what you're playing with, and what you're playing against. So yeah, we're banishing the Decay the Ill Wind in order to get a Black Whirlwind. Summon the Simoon. You already have the Oster in this hand, so we'll go ahead and get the Gale off of that search, and then we'll normal summon the Oster, going Chain Link 1 and 2. We'll use the Whirlwind to get us a Harmattan, and the Decay will come back off the Oster's effect. What we're going to do after that is we're going to special summon our Bora, and then we're going to use the Bora in order to synchro with the Decay the Ill Wind in order to get us to our Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. That was our 5th summon, so if they activate Nibiru, which would be weird when they went first, you can banish that out their hand, or you just have this walking 3000 beat stick that can run over things, gain its attack, and then run it attack again. So you've got that banishment as well as a very large beater. After that, it's pretty much combo as normal. Depending on how salty you want to make your opponent, you could just end up doing things like summoning the Oster, or summoning the Harmattan, using the Harmattan and the Oster in order to make your full armor master, which would be nice. Or you can just summon that, summon your Gale, use any combination of your cards to go into other combos. But just letting you know that the full armor master is an option. But for what we're gonna do here, we're just going to go ahead and summon both of our monsters and have the, and say we didn't make the full armor master. What we're gonna do with that is we're going to use these two to link into our Wastrix. Use the Wastrix to grab the Raider's Wing like we normally do. Use these two to overlay into your overlaying into your Forstrix. Use the Forstrix to detach the Raider's Wing, which is going to trigger the Wastrix. So the Wastrix will set you your rank up spell. The Forstrix will add you your Strangleanius. And because you had that one extra extender in Gale, you don't need to summon the Strangleanius anymore, so we can do other shenanigans. So what we're going to do after setting that card and getting our Strangleanius is we're going to use the Gale and the Wastrix in order to summon our Rusty. The Rusty is going to send the Boots, and that's going to set us the other rank up spell, and then we're going to banish the Boots in order to get us our trap card, the Shade Brigandine. After that, we are going to actually activate our rank up magic spell, and by doing so we're going to banish, we can say, the Wastrix, really anything except the Raider's Wing. So we'll banish the, we'll keep the Wastrix engraved, sure, why not? It doesn't matter. We can banish the Simoon, and we'll banish the Decay. We'll banish the Decay because in phase, Decay would burn us for 1,000 if it was still in the graveyard, but it's not anymore, so we don't care. Using only 2, we're going to rank up the Forstrix from a 4 to a 6. When you do that, on summon, the Air Raid is going to trigger and pop a card on the field, and the Rusty Bardish is going to trigger and pop a card on the field, because this is If this card is Exceed summoned, you can target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. If it was face up, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack that it had on the field. So now that you've done that, this will kill the kill a monster. Rusty can kill something else, and now you're set to go into even more damage. You have a Dark Exceeds that has a Dark Exceeds as material, so we're going to summon Stranglelanius, and Stranglelanius has the ability to bring back the Raider's Wing from the graveyard. What we're going to do after that is we're going to activate the Shade Brigandine, summon this, use these two to make our Raiders Knight, get rid of the trap card specifically because you want to keep the Raiders Wing under this in order to make Arc Exceeds Rebellion. At this point, you've got a choice. Do you want the Arc Exceeds or Arc Rebellion Exceeds Dragon to be untargetable, or do you want to negate all other monsters on the field? If you've already popped all their monsters, then you can get rid of the Exceeds monster and then it'll just stay untargetable. If you aren't worried about getting targeted, then you keep the Exceeds monster under him and negate all monsters on the field when he does his effect to gain the attack points. Really, it just depends, because the Raider's Wing as material stops it from being targeted, but Arc Rebellion, if it has a Dark Exceeds monster under it when it activates its effect to gain the attack points, it also negates all the monsters on the field. So you really just pick and choose which one of those two effects that you want to get off based on your current situation. We'll just say that you've popped the other monsters and don't need to negate their monsters on the field, which means your Berserker Tenyi is still alive. You do that, and now you gain the attack of all monsters on the field. You've popped the monsters your opponent controls, so Arc Rebellion has 3,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,100, 11,700 attack points. Plus whatever your opponent has, which in this case we said is nothing, 11,100 to the face. Game. Real simple. The combo was almost exactly the same, just instead of going into the Redoer, we went into the Raiders Knight, and instead of going into the Arsenal Falcon, we went into the Air Raid. Instead of going into the Link 2, we synchroed into the Draco Berserker of Tenyi. Like I said, it's entirely dependent on what you open up with and on whether or not it's going to be viable or not on doing specific combos. But yeah, guys, that was the main two combos I wanted to show y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Please feel free to ask me any questions. I love answering the questions about this deck. And yeah, I'll let me know if there's any other rogue decks that y'all want to see be evolved into a way that can compete. Right now I've got a generator one that I'm really working on that I think is gonna catch a lot of people by surprise with its ability to make annoying Exceeds monsters as well as steal your opponent's monsters to make them Exceeds materials. It's pretty consistent, can play Pot of Extravagance because you don't really care about your extra deck. Very, very interesting deck. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you guys think, and let me know what you want to see next.